Penn State, they're coming in bruised, battered, and looking for redemption. 5 losses in their last 6 games. But don't be fooled, these Nittany Lions have been clawing at the door. 1-point heartbreakers to top-tier teams like Oregon and Iowa show they're more than just another struggling squad. Nick Kern Jr. led the charge in their last outing with 18 points and 7 boards, proving he's got the grit, even if his 3-point game is, let's say, selective. But it's not just Kern. Penn State brings a balanced attack with 6 players averaging double figures. Ace Baldwin Jr.? The guy's dishing dimes at an elite level, ranking 4th in the nation with 8 assists per game. When he's not setting the table, he's dropping buckets himself. And let's not forget their big man, Yannick Conan Niederhauser. A 7-footer with a presence that commands attention in the paint. Their offense? Ranked 43rd in efficiency? Defense? A respectable 70th. Fast pace? You bet. 38th in tempo? Meaning they're gonna push it every chance they get. But here's the kicker. Right now, they're on the outside looking in when it comes to the big dance. Joe Lunardi says 10 Big Ten teams make the cut, and Penn State ain't one of them. Yet. Now let's talk Michigan. They were cruising, undefeated in league play, until they weren't. 2 losses in their last 3, including a rough one against Purdue. But don't get it twisted, they've still got the firepower. Vladislav Golden, their 7-foot scoring machine, leads the pack with 16.1 points per game, and if you need proof, ask UCLA and Northwestern about the nightmares he gave them. And if Golden wasn't enough, meet Danny Wolf, another 7-footer, but this one's got range, knocking down 19 threes on the season while pulling down nearly 10 boards a game. Michigan's got size, they've got scoring, and they've got Trey Donaldson lighting it up from deep with a cool 42.9% clip. Ken Pom ranks Michigan 18th in the country, with top 15 offensive efficiency and a defense that doesn't mess around. Their tempo? Close to Penn State's, meaning we're in for a high-paced showdown. A 4 seed in the tournament is theirs to lose. But the question is, can Penn State keep this close? The line sits at Michigan, 8.5. With Penn State's knack for keeping things tight, their balanced scoring, and Michigan coming off a pair of tough losses, do we see some value here? The Wolverines might win, but will they cover? And today's AI pick is Penn State plus 8.5. So, what's the play here? Michigan's size is intimidating. No doubt, but Penn State's pace and balance make them a dangerous underdog. If they can keep it within reach and avoid those costly turnovers, they've got a shot to cover. It's gonna be a battle, but hey, isn't that what the Big Ten is all about? On to game 2.
Iowa, they're feeling good after snapping a 3-game losing streak with a nail-biting 7-5, 7-4 win over Penn State. But let's not kid ourselves, consistency has been a struggle. They've been in 7 single-digit games this season, winning just 3. The Hawkeyes' offense. Lethal. They're first in the Big Ten in scoring, second in field goal percentage, and they absolutely torch teams from beyond. They are cranking first in 3-point shooting. When they're clicking, they're a nightmare to contain. But here's the flip side defensively, they're last in the Big Ten across the board. Scoring defense. Dead last. Field goal defense. Bottom of the barrel. Rebounding. Forget about it. Owen Freeman was a force against Penn State, dropping 16 points and grabbing 9 boards. Drew Thelwell matched him in scoring, and Josh Dix did his part with a career-high 8 assists. Peyton Sanford. He's their steady hand, adding 10 points and 7 rebounds. But if Iowa wants to cover this number, they'll need more than just scoring, they need stops. And that's where things get dicey. Now Ohio State. Fresh off their biggest win of the season, a gutsy 7-3 road upset over 11th-ranked Purdue, snapping the Boilermakers' 26-game home win streak. The Buckeyes came back from 16 down and locked in defensively when it mattered. Micah Parrish. He exploded for 22 points, with 17 of them coming in the second half. Devin Royal came back from injury and dropped 16, and Bruce Thornton filled the stat sheet with 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Buckeyes shot lights out 53% from the field, nearly 50% from deep. Defensively, they're no slouch either, ranking 3rd in the Big Ten in both field goal and 3-point defense. But here's the thing, Ohio State has been in dogfights all season. 5 straight one-possession games. They're good, but they're not blowing teams out. And let's not forget, they've got injury concerns. C. Austin Parks and G. Braylon Nash are questionable, while F. Kalen Etzler and G. Michi Johnson Jr. are definitely out. The depth. It's getting thin. So the spread sits at Ohio State 7.5. Iowa's offense is elite, and they're always a threat to hang around with that firepower. The Buckeyes. They might win, but covering over a touchdown spread could be tricky against an Iowa team that loves to push the pace and score in bunches. And today's AI pick is Iowa 7.5. Iowa's defense. It's a liability, no doubt. but their offense keeps them in games, and Ohio State's trend of playing tight ones makes that 7.5 feel just a little too rich. Expect a high-paced battle, and don't be surprised if Iowa makes this one interesting down the stretch. On to Game 3.
NC State heads into Cameron Indoor looking to snap a tough stretch. They've lost 6 of their last 7 and are sitting at 9-10 on the season. It's been a rough go, and their offense hasn't done them any favors. Shooting just 29% from the field in their last outing against SMU and a brutal 16% from deep, it's clear the Wolfpack are struggling to find their rhythm. They were outworked in the paint, outscored 32-16, and outrebounded 43-35, not exactly the kind of numbers that inspire confidence against the top-ranked Duke squad. Marcus Hill leads the way for NC State, averaging 13.2 points per game, but he'll need help. Jaden Taylor, Ben Middlebrooks, and Dontre Styles round out a balanced, inconsistent attack. Ken Pom slots the Wolfpack at 101st in the nation, with offensive efficiency ranked 124th and defensive efficiency at 106th. They're scoring just 70.8 points per game. Good for 271 in the country, but their defense has held up reasonably well, allowing 6 to 7.1 points per contest. Now let's talk about Duke. The Blue Devils are rolling. Sitting at 17-2 with a perfect 9-0 ACC record, they're proving why they're a force this season. They just handled Wake Forest 6-3 56. A game where their shooting was far from perfect at 36%, but their dominance on the boards told the story, rebounding Wake by 17, including 14 offensive boards. Their defense. Smothering. They held Wake to just 3 for 18 from deep, and turnovers aside, they did what they do, best grind teams down. Freshman Phenom Cooper Flagg is lighting it up with 19.5 points, 8 boards, and over 4 assists per game. Con Nupel and Tyrese Proctor add valuable scoring depth, while Common Malawach holds things down in the paint. Duke's offense ranks 6th in efficiency and their defense 3rd in the nation. They're averaging 80.4 points per game, while allowing just 59.4, making them one of the most balanced squads in the country. Now the total for this game sits at 134.5. Duke's offense is potent, no doubt, but NC State can push the pace when they get into a rhythm. They're first in the ACC in 3-point attempts, and if they start hitting even at a league average rate, we could see this total fly over. Meanwhile, Duke has been known to pile it on against weaker defensive teams, and with NC State ranking near the bottom in defensive efficiency, expect the Blue Devils to have their way offensively. And today's AI pick is over 134.5. Both teams have their flaws, but the pace of play and Duke's offensive firepower should push this number higher than expected. NC State might not win, but they can do just enough to keep this game moving and help get us over the total.